And then suddenly somebody calls you and tells you, hey, Christina,
Yeah.
the day of election result in your riding, it kept flipping.
You know, the first word that comes to mind when I think of election night is nauseous. I was out knocking doors till about 9 o'clock, right until the polls closed. And then my campaign managers very wisely said, Christina, go home, get changed, have a shower, like grab something to eat and meet us back at, you know, the headquarters that we decided we were going to have for election night. So when I got there and I saw the numbers and the mood was people were happy and excited, but it wasn't like a slam dunk by any stretch. And you know, we were ahead a little bit and then we fell behind and then ahead and then further behind, a little bit ahead. So it was really, that's where the nauseous came from. But right around, I want to say it was midnight-ish, it appeared that it was too close to call. So Elections Canada actually they weren't able to call it. So we were that close. So on election night itself, we ended up shutting down the party and saying, sorry guys, like it could be 2 a.m. before we know what the results are, everybody go home. And in fact, what happened was Elections Canada said it was too close to call. There was one poll that still had to be counted. It was a special ballot where people handwrite the name of the candidate. And there was, I think, around 2,000 votes in that poll, and we were only 500 votes apart. So that poll could have decided the winner, but Elections Canada said, we're going to bed, you know. So we came back the next day, and in the early afternoon, that's when they counted the last poll, and it appeared that my opponent, the Conservative candidate, had won the election by 298 votes, I want to say it was at that point. And then it appeared we were done for this election, and I was very disappointed, but I reached out to my opponent. I said, congratulations, you know, best of luck. And then I started to get on with my life again.
Wow, okay. And then suddenly somebody calls you and tells you, hey, Christina.
Yeah.
You won.
Yeah.
What was the reaction then?
You know, a little bit of disbelief. It was pretty surreal. It was a call from the returning officer, and she said that she had completed the validation process, which is a standard process. So all the polls on election night report to the returning office, and there's a tally kept, and based on those unofficial results, usually the election is called, which is what the media did. And then when the returning officer went through the process to validate all those numbers that were reported, she noticed an inconsistency in the term she used, I think, was like typo, or a tabulation error. So a little bit of human error. And that's the point of the validation, is to catch those, and she did catch it. So that changed things, and she said, you're actually ahead by 29 votes.
Yep.